My hands were shaking, but not from fear. Not yet. It was that slow, internal tremor that signals the world you thought was solid has just dissolved into thin air. I was staring at the screen of my bank's mobile app, specifically at the savings account. The one with the balance that was supposed to read $86,420.19. That number was the culmination of 6 years of scraping, skipping vacations, and eating instant ramen so old, I'm pretty sure it qualified as an antique. But the number on the screen wasn't 80, but when I refreshed the page, the number didn't move. $86,000. Gone. Vanished. And the only person with access to that account, other than me, was Sarah. My girlfriend of 3 years. The woman I was planning to propose to in less than 3 months. To understand the sheer astronomical size of this betrayal, you have to understand the life we had meticulously built. Or, more accurately, the life I thought we had built. I'm an aerospace engineer. A quiet, stable profession. Sarah worked as an executive assistant at a mid-sized tech company. We met on a rainy Thursday at a friend's barbecue, and she charmed me instantly. She was vibrant, funny, and always seemed to know exactly what to say to make me feel seen. We were, by all outside appearances, the perfect, practical couple. We split the rent, shared the utilities, and had the standard future talk about kids, suburbs, and retirement. The money, the $86,000, was our down payment fund. My contribution. We had a joint checking account for daily expenses, but the savings was in a separate account under my name, with Sarah as an authorized user, a move I had made a year prior, shortly after we signed the lease on our 2-bedroom apartment. She needed access, she argued, so we could both contribute easily and transparently. I remember my lawyer laughing dryly later. Transparent, he said. Completely transparent robbery. But back then, I trusted her implicitly. My logical brain, the one that deals with orbital mechanics and stress tests on materials, had zero defense against simple human deceit. Why? Because the very idea felt like a physics-defying anomaly. The Friday before I discovered the theft, Sarah had been perfect. We went out for dinner. She talked about her promotion opportunity. She kissed me goodnight and told me she loved me. She was selling the dream right up until the point she liquidated the assets. After staring at the screen for a full 5 minutes, I had the kind of chilling clarity that only absolute shock can provide. My brain went from panic mode to systems analysis. Step 1. Confirm the facts. I called the bank immediately. The representative, a kind-sounding woman named Brenda, confirmed the worst. The entire balance, less than $1,000, had been withdrawn via a series of 6 large wire transfers over a 72-hour period, Tuesday through Thursday. Sarah, being an authorized user, had every legal right to initiate those transfers. They were gone, non-reversible. Step 2. Locate Sarah. I tried calling. Straight to voicemail. Texted, "Sarah, where are you? Call me now." The money is gone. No reply. I raced home from the office. Our apartment was quiet. Too quiet. She wasn't there. Her toothbrush was gone. Her favorite leather jacket was gone. Her laptop was gone. But her clothes were still in the closet. That was a strategic choice, a calculated move to maintain the appearance of a temporary absence. I walked into our spare room, which she used as a makeshift office. The wall was usually covered in post-it notes, her weird, chaotic organization system. They were all gone. This wasn't a sudden flight of passion. This was premeditated. I found a note tucked under a coaster on the kitchen counter. A handwritten note. That was her style. Personal, yet utterly cold. It read, "Mark, I know you're upset. Please understand this was necessary for my future. I promise I'll pay it back when I can. P.S. Don't worry about the lease. I'll cover my half for next month. Sarah." The audacity was breathtaking. She drained my life savings, and her offering of solace was a single month's rent payment. It was like torching a mansion and then offering to sweep the ashes. That night, I didn't sleep. I didn't cry. I sat at the kitchen table and typed out a timeline of our entire relationship, focusing specifically on financial interactions. Dates of joint account creation, dates of her addition to the savings account, copies of the apartment lease. My methodical approach was the only thing keeping the emotional dam from bursting. By Monday morning, I had an appointment with a family law attorney, a woman named Ms. Chen. She specialized in financial fraud within cohabitating relationships. Ms. Chen listened patiently as I laid out the case, my voice perfectly level. When I finished, she steepled her fingers and fixed me with a gaze that could bore holes through steel. "Mr. Thompson," she said, We have a problem. A big one. Since you weren't married, there is no community property law here. The money was technically yours, but you gifted her the legal ability to withdraw it. The bank is absolved. This is not a criminal case of theft. It's a civil matter of breach of trust and unjust enrichment. We have to prove she took it without your consent and for her sole benefit, and that her use of the funds did not align with the implied purpose, the joint down payment. We have a good chance, but we need to move fast to freeze any reachable assets and, more importantly, find out where the money went. I filed a police report for civil theft anyway, mostly for the record. The officer was polite, but his expression clearly communicated. Another one fell for the finance scam. The humiliation was crushing. 3 weeks passed. 3 weeks of quiet hell. I changed the locks. I canceled my cards. I got a cheap mattress in the second bedroom, unable to sleep in the bed we'd shared. Ms. Chen, my lawyer, was a shark. She found the trail. Sarah hadn't just run away. She had purchased a small condo, cash down, in a different state, about 500 miles away. She'd used nearly the entire $86,000 for the down payment and closing costs. We filed the lawsuit in civil court and a lien on the condo. That was my leverage. If she wanted to sell, she had to pay me first. The pressure started to build. Then the call came. One evening, an unfamiliar number. I hesitated, then answered. "Hello, Mark." It was Sarah. Her voice was calm, almost cheerful. Like she was calling to discuss dinner plans. "Sarah," I said, my voice dangerously steady. "You have 30 seconds before I hang up. You took everything." She sighed, a dramatic put-upon sound. "You're being so melodramatic. It was our money, Mark. And honestly, this lawsuit is ridiculous. I'm being generous here. I'll pay you back eventually." "You bought a property, Sarah. With my 6 years of sacrifice, where is the logic in that? And here's where the audacity reached its peak." "Mark, think about it," she said, her tone shifting into a maddening, manipulative sweetness. "You're an engineer. You make good money. You would have taken another 5 years to save that amount again, just to buy a house in a competitive market. I expedited the process for both of us. I bought the asset. I made the aggressive move you were too cautious to make. You should be thanking me for the investment strategy. I'm building our future foundation while you sit there complaining about a bank transfer." I actually laughed. A harsh, dry sound that tasted like dust. "You bought a condo in your name only, 500 miles away, and you think that's our foundation?" I finally let some of the coldness seep in. "Sarah, let me tell you what I did this morning. I signed the papers. There is a lien on that condo. You can't sell it. You can't refinance it. And I'm going to sue you for the full $86,000 plus interest, all my legal fees, and the emotional distress of you forcing me to sleep in a 2-bedroom apartment that now feels like a tomb." The silence on her end was immediate and heavy. The cheerful mask finally cracked. You wouldn't." "I already did. The papers are served. Enjoy your new investment, Sarah. You're going to be renting out of it for a very long time to pay me back." I hung up before she could respond. The tremor in my hands was back, but this time, it felt like the aftershock of a controlled demolition. The legal battle was messy, drawn out, and psychologically exhausting, lasting nearly a year and a half. Sarah fought back, claiming the money was a gift and that I had authorized the purchase, but Ms. Chen was relentless. We had documented proof of the down payment purpose, text messages, shared spreadsheets, and Sarah's subsequent total absence spoke volumes about her intent. Ultimately, the lien on her condo was the undoing of her investment strategy, faced with the inability to properly utilize or sell the property. Her lawyer advised her to settle. The settlement was complex, but the outcome was simple. I received the full $86,000 back, plus a partial payment for my legal fees. She was forced to take out a high-interest home equity loan on the property she thought would make her rich, just to pay me off. She paid back my savings with her debt. I got the money back, but the loss wasn't the money. The loss was the belief. I used the money, $86,000 exactly, to put a down payment on a small 1-bedroom apartment in the city, entirely in my name. No authorized users, no shared lease. I realized that the biggest betrayal wasn't the theft. It was the betrayal of my own judgment. I had been so focused on creating a stable, practical life that I outsourced the most critical part of the equation, vetting the partner. I haven't seen Sarah since. She sent one final text message 3 months after the settlement, completely out of the blue. It was short. "I truly hope you learn to trust people again, Mark. I'm sorry you couldn't see the bigger picture. I didn't reply. There was nothing to say. Her final act was still trying to position her theft as a philosophical lesson I failed to grasp. She had, in fact, given me a lesson, but it wasn't the one she intended. The lesson, the real bigger picture, isn't about saving money or buying property. It's about knowing the difference between the price of a thing and the value of a soul. $86,000 was the price I paid to learn that my logical, methodical brain is a powerful tool, but it works best when it's listening to the quiet, internal alarm system I had willfully ignored. I got my money back. I got my freedom back. And I learned that sometimes the coldest, calmest approach is the only way to deal with white-hot betrayal. You have to be an engineer, not just emotionally, but strategically. It's a quiet victory, but it's mine. And I wouldn't trade the clarity I gained for all the money in the world.